Really tough game for us headed on the road to play Wichita State. They're coming off a great win on the road at South Florida. And so we know what kind of environment we're going into Wednesday night. A team that's extremely talented, great size, shoots the ball and rebounds the ball. So we got our work cut out for us.
Coach, how have you addressed the team's mindset? You are getting better. Maybe the wins aren't there, so have you just kind of kept their head up?
Staying consistent, Stephen, staying consistent with what we do every day. I mean, our preparation, whether it's in the film room, extra work, in practice, even in the locker room right after the game, just staying consistent with where we got to continue to get better. This group has got great fight. Their mindsets have been really strong. I've called them warriors many times. It's frustrating that it hasn't equated to a couple wins that we've had opportunities for, but just the consistency of growth and continuing to get better. And then as a coaching staff, we're going to keep peeling every layer of this onion to find something that might click and might be something that can flip or make something happen. You know, we did a few things last game that worked, and so we're going to continue down that path as well, but just continuing to fight and be consistent to get better.
Dimitri Gardner's fit in well his few games here. Just how would you assess his play?
And, you know, like I said in the beginning, when we knew his legs weren't under him and just his mindset in terms of his extra work, his film work, coming in extra with the coaches, I think it's all paying off. I think physically he's starting to get there. He's still not there yet. I wish I could have had him about 6-7 more minutes the other night, and there's a couple plays that if he was right here, he would say, man, I know what that transition play. He knows he wish he could have finished that play, and that ended up being a big difference in the game, our inability to convert on 18 turnovers that we forced. But that being said, just his work ethic to figure out what we're doing and get physically and mentally up to speed, and then the other guys embracing him. They have really embraced him at a high level, and I think it's been a nice fit, and I think he's just going to get better.
Coach, Eli struggled earlier in the season. He has the injury, comes back, and now he's kind of the player he was advertised as. What clicked for him while he was away from the game?
Well, you know, maybe sometimes when you do step away and you get a chance to watch what's happening, that helped. You know, it still was his first season here with us, and early in the season, maybe he was struggling offensively, but he still was rebounding and he still was playing defense in terms of he's a high IQ defender. I think what happened was he stepped away. He's seen what's going on. The issue is, as good as he's done, he still can't practice. He doesn't practice ever. I know he can't practice him. He just plays in the game, and that's been a challenge. He's a tough sucker. He is fighting through. We can see it. You can see the grimace on his face. It's hard to get in elite shape when you can't practice. He's still dealing with a little bit with the injury. So a lot of credit to him in terms of his fight and spirit to be productive. But I tell you, he's even a way better player than we're seeing right now. I still think we're just seeing a shell of Eli DeLaurier.
For these next two games, what are you looking for from your team to know that they're getting better?
Well, it's a great question, and I think something very specific that we have been hurt over the last two games is our three-point shooting defense. So that is something very specific that we have to say we have to be better here. There's been moments that we've been really good. We held Charlotte to 2 threes in the second half. That's a very good shooting team. I got a ton of respect for Charlotte and their players and their coaching staff, and they're a good shooting team. They made 8 in the first half, 2 in the second half. They had 23 points in the second half, 4 for 4 at the free throw line that we had to foul when we were trying to play possession basketball late in the game. So they end up with 27 points in the second half, 23 of them, and we hold them to 2 threes. Our three-point defense has to be what it was in the second half, and that's what we're looking for versus Wichita and on this 2-game road swing.
You guys played a fairly clean game last game, 12 fouls, 5 turnovers. How do you carry that into the road trip?
Man, it'd be awesome if we could. You know, we had 5 turnovers. We forced 18, and our 5th turnover is a Reed Kaysen illegal screen that Corey Calker hit the 3 coming off the screen. He hit that 3, which would have been a huge possession, and they call Reed on the roll, and that's a turnover. So really, your 4 turnovers that are non-offensive fouls or dead ball turnovers. So that was a clean. It's an area we want to be better. Versus South Florida, we had 11 turnovers. We had 5 versus Charlotte, which, as you said, is a good sign of we just got to continue that. And a lot of times it's guard play, and if our guards can continue to take care of the ball, and we can hopefully keep that margin where we force turnovers, hopefully those transition baskets can go better than they did on this road swing than they did versus Charlotte on Sunday.
Speaking of guard play, Jordan Riley brought the ball up the court a lot, and Cocker still found a way to have 6 assists. Riley had 4. Did you like what you saw with Jordan kind of running the point?
Yeah, it wasn't done on accident. That was a design that we obviously had worked on for 2 days. That was something very specifically to try and help our offense and try and help Corey and Isaiah, and I thought that it worked. And We'll continue to build on that. I think Jordan all year has done such a good job shouldering so much weight and having so many eyes of the defense on him that I thought he did a really nice job initiating, getting other guys going. He had 4 assists, as you said. Corey had 6 assists, and we want to build on that. And Corey took a big step the other day, and that's the Corey Calker that we believe is going to be the point guard and the guard in this program.
We haven't talked to you since Jay was shut down. Can you just walk us through that conversation, how tough it was, kind of taking that off?
I'll be totally honest with you, Stephen. It's been so tough all season. From the day after the first game of the season, from the day after that Georgia Southern win, it just turned out to be a good win. They're having a nice season. You know, we have Jay that game. Our rotation is what we expected, and even without Dahi and Trevor, to be honest. But Jay in the lineup, what he did versatility-wise, we scored 92 points that game. From that point on, he was never Jay Woodard. He hurt his Achilles, knee, and ankle on that late game drive. He wasn't able to practice. He tried in 3 other games to give it a go without practicing really. Maybe 1 or 2 days he got on the court and practice leading up to the App State game. He had a chance to practice. And so the reality is this. He was never able to explode, jump, move the way he tried everything. And he was willing to do it. He was willing to play his senior year at 50, 60% just to help this team. But it got to the point after Christmas break, he's played 60 minutes the whole course of the season over 4 games. And it got to the point where medical, Nate, it was the best thing for him because he just couldn't move like he needs to not only be healthy, but help this team. So hopefully he'll get a medical redshirt. He'll have a 5th-year senior. He and Jay Trevi will both be captains that will be able to return and be a core of this team next year. But it was very difficult, emotionally difficult on him, tough on the team. He's a leader of the team, but it was the right thing to do with everything that had gone on.
Looking at the film of Wichita State, what do they excel at?
Really good 3-point shooting team, high-power guards that can really score in Gray and in Giles. You know, we know their team well. We recruited several of their players, you know, Giles, Berg, their size up front. So their shooting and their offensive rebounding is elite in this league. They shoot 37% from 3 on the season. They're the #1 rebounding and offensive rebounding team. Great combination. Karan Boyd at the 3 is a very dynamic scorer. So their shooting, athleticism, and rebounding is high level, and it's going to be a real task for us.